Hello and welcome to episode 332 of the Awesome Comics Podcast, the place where the small press makes one hell of a big noise. I'm Vince Hunt, writer of MI666 and creator of the Instagram comic Black, and joining me as always is the creator of the webcomic Vanguard and the action comic hyper sexy badass fest that is Viper, Dan Butcher.
Hello.
See, I ran out of words to talk about your comic, Dan. It's just so much. There's so much on offer there.
Yeah, there is a lot.
And speaking of a lot, we're also joined, as always, by the writer and brainchild of Atomic Hercules and George Mayhem. It's Tony Esmond.
Hello.
Hello, everyone. And why have I mentioned all those comics? Because a lot of you might be able to pick up versions of them in some way, shape or form at Thought Bubble 2021. Which is
Has that come around already?
Which is just around the corner. It felt like it was so far away, and now it's here. And now there's probably a lot of people in sort of, not panic stations, but definitely in the, oh God, I need to get the boxes ready. I need to pack
I haven't done anything yet. You're super organised. You said you've got it.
Yeah.
Oh, I say it's super organised. I said I begun it. It looks like, you know, like one of those eccentric detectives has just absolutely ruined a room, like looking for evidence and clues. It looks like that. It's always darkest before the dawn when it comes to getting ready for a convention.
It is one of those things of like, if you fail to prepare, you prepare to fail, isn't it? You need to kind of get all that shit ready beforehand.
Yeah.
For instance, like that fucking reader, you said you had to update the graphic on the software on that.
Indeed, and it's quite funny. We're talking about this because we're going to talk about a little bit of a con prep and con survival, or what to expect in a convention and getting ready for it. Because obviously, this is the first one all three of us are going to be at for quite some time.
Might be a bit of brainstorming as well on the show.
Yes, there probably will be. We'll be we might live.
Won't last long then, will it?
No. No. It's like people just playing conkers. That's what it is. God, no one plays conkers anymore.
Health and safety gone mad.
Yeah. So there's going to be lots of chat about that. Who knows? You may be listening to us as you travel to Thought Bubble as we speak. If so, hello.
That'd be nice.
We look forward to seeing you at the show. We will also be talking about some of the things you can look forward to getting at Thought Bubble as well. So,
you see Dan and me at a garage, buy us a choc ice.
Or coffee.
Ice?
Yeah.
Choc ice?
Yeah.
What?
If you are
they still make choc ices?
Yeah, they do.
I think so, yeah.
They're the sort of food where you don't need to buy an expensive choc ice. The cheap choc ices are like, you know.
Will do, won't they?
They do, won't they? Yeah. It's like a
if you are buying
cream.
something at the service, you got to make sure your bank manager gives you the nod beforehand.
Yeah. Oh God, yeah. So who knows? You might bump into one of us in the services as we travel up.
Have you gone on the A1? Have you ever seen some of the services have got sex shops attached to them?
No.
And that's Tony Esmond, everyone.
Perhaps we could do a bit of roving reporting, T.
Oh, good idea.
My God.
Yeah, buy a few things, test them out on the road up.
Make our excuses and leave.
Yes, there will, of course. God, with that horrific image in mind.
So behind the table, we'll have a number of dildos for sale.
Don't make promises you can't keep.
There'll be at least two
there'll
dildos,
be 3
behind
dildos.
the table.
Yeah.
Hey. But yes, we will, of course, do a Thought Bubble special. If we can, of course. Let's not make too many promises. But yes, there is a next week.
We'll do loads of recording.
Yeah.
We said that before.
Come some of us 5 o'clock Sunday, thinking, oh fuck, we haven't done any recording.
They'll be the
talk to each other.
They'll be the Friday night. I can't wait. It's going to be so great. And then the Sunday night, I'm so tired.
Yeah,
I'm just so tired. And that spoilers for the next.
Just
episode.
be a little audio of Dan tucking Vince in bed and saying, "Night, night, fella. Night, night, Dan."
Yeah. Give me a little kiss on the cheek. Yeah.
Forehead. I think it's more of a forehead kiss.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's how I see it going.
Yeah. It's lovely. But you got all those stories and more to look forward to. But of course, one of the things we're looking forward to doing at Thought Bubble is bumping into Pete from Comic House.
He's going to be there doing a panel, isn't he? He's large in it. He's got a panel, isn't he?
Yeah. And Comic House are the sponsor of this show. They're an indie comic marketplace with a difference. They love indie comics and the small press just as much as anyone.
Dan's got a plan to shout their name out.
Oh yes, we can't reveal that plan on the show. But Pete, please talk to us about what
we need to explain that, because it might need a little bit more money in the sponsorship. Tin, I think, for that one.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
But there is a huge selection of titles on their database. And if you if you self-publish, you can also list your books on there and start selling straight away. But they also have an amazing app, which will no doubt be telling lots of people about over the weekend. There's a feature section. It's basically a subscription service like Netflix for comics, £3 a month, and you get access to an enormous library of digital indie comics that are being updated.
I'll stick my hat out.
What? You're bringing a hat with you?
No, the Comic House hats for us to wear when it's cold.
Oh yeah, and it will be. It'll be chilly.
Yeah, it's cold tonight, isn't it? It's going to be cold next week.
It is a bit chilly.
We're only going to have our own body warmth to keep us. Anyway, what can they find on the Comic House app at the moment, Dan?
Well, no, it's a new series of titles come up called Creating with Code, a fun exploration of computer-generated images and machine learning. That's a whole book, a whole series of comics. It looks like, the Comic House has got the kids section.
Yeah.
It's that for basically like a comic to teach you about creating computer-generated images.
Who's done that?
Well, I was just looking at then, and it says artist JWC.
Oh, I thought it might be. Yeah. She was talking about that, wasn't she?
My son is kind of interested in computers and all that malarkey, so I might introduce him to that, see how he gets on.
Oh, nice.
We've got Surrealsville, Volume 7.
Bloody hell.
Machine just rolls on. Checking that one out. There's 7 volumes of Surrealsville.
Nice.
Clues in the title.
Is he going to be at Thought Bubble?
I don't know.
Are they going to be at Thought Bubble?
I think it's a lone creator. Rob White.
Of course it is, yeah.
Yeah. So Rob,
he's going to be there.
That'd be great. And we've got Mahoney's Issue 4, The Last Stand, Part 1. I think it's The Last Stand, Part 1.
Is that the one that's got
Part 2 of 4. I'm not too sure.
Or is that the Christmas thing or something?
That might be the next one. Because I know Cumber's got some stuff. And Gaston Art is doing a comic for Rich as well, which looks fucking fantastic.
What's his name?
Love Gaston. It's Gaston Art. I don't know. He's never...
Oh, is that like his pen name?
Yeah, whatever it is. How you say it. Yeah. So I don't... he's never revealed his real name or her name.
Have you ever thought about having a pen name?
Unfortunately, the horse is bolted on that one.
Yeah, but you could have a little secret project, couldn't you?
Yeah, you could. Yeah.
If you were doing something complete, I mean, if it was like something completely out of your wheelhouse that no one expects, I mean, that's essentially why Stephen King was Richard Bachman, wasn't it? So he could do like the sci-fi type stuff. I mean, like Black, I could have had a pen name for that. I could have.
Yeah.
Maybe I should have.
Yeah.
That would have been.
Maybe just to choose a Japanese name or something.
Yeah, that would get you in trouble down the line.
God, no. What kind of idiot would do that?
And then be found out. Yeah. Well, I used to write under Ez. That's my first, probably 10 comics come out under that.
Okay.
The name EZ. Yeah. And I have got, as you both know, I've got a pen name at the moment that I've been using.
Yeah.
I wish I would have been a bit more guarded, but you never know how this shit's going to play out, do you? You just put it out there, name, then 10 years down the line, it's like, oh, I'm not sure if I want this.
So the thing is different having a pen name now, because you'd have to have a separate Twitter and all sorts of things, wouldn't you?
All that caper,
yeah.
And it's all about building up the following and blah, 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 blah. But I don't know. Social media is kind of going for a bit of a strange one at the moment. I don't know about how you go. I feel like it's going for a bit of a reinvention of sorts.
True.
Yeah, I know, definitely do, man. It's definitely splintered since 6.1. I think the internet has splintered social media wise. Yeah, definitely.
But if you're on social media, you can add your social media links to your Comic House profile. If you're an,
and you should.
if you're a creator who's got comics on there, and also there's an all ages section of the app.
Yes.
So as well as some of the crazy, not necessarily not safe for work, but some comics that are a bit violent, or maybe they have a bit of fruity language and you don't want your kids reading, then you can set it so they've got a all ages friendly section as well.
I don't know about that. My comics are all ages, so I don't mind.
I've seen some of that stuff you just sent me on Twitter, on WhatsApp. That's unbelievable.
That's not me.
I know that you didn't make that. Yeah,
that's a later recommend. Yeah.
Oh God. Yeah.
That's challenging.
Yeah. But we challenge you to check out Comic House. Start your 14-day free trial and find out more about these awesome comics that we talk about every week. So go to comichouse.com. There you go. That was that almost became a segue for an entire conversation then. So I thought I'd try and get us back on track.
Right.
Yeah, well done.
That's my job. Getting off subject during the advert.
Right. Is it? Don't make it. Don't make it a thing.
I've been doing it ever since we started.
Sometimes not intentionally.
Yeah.
But one thing that is intentional, we are all going to travel up to Harrogate. For its, I do not have the dates in front of me. I can't believe that. For the 12th, 13th, and 14th, we're going to be there, aren't we?
We'll be there Monday morning as well, aren't we? We're going to be there a bit Monday.
Yeah. But we're literally just going to have
play cards right. You could be too.
What the fuck does that mean? What does that mean?
I'm just insinuating one of the listeners would sleep with us, but
just one.
Oh, that was that's all right then. As long as it was something safe like that. Jesus Christ.
I don't think I've got the moral fortitude to wait for you two to finish.
Anyway, there is, of course, it's Thought Bubble Week. There's loads of things happening all over the week, but the comic convention is the 13th and 14th of November 2021 at the Harrogate Convention Centre in Harrogate. And it was there 2019. I can't believe it was 2019. 2020 just disappeared, didn't it?
Yeah. 2021's disappeared.
Yeah. True. Obviously, it's a fantastic venue. We had Chloe on to talk about the show a few weeks ago. There's going to be lots of great indie creators, and I'm making a sort of wish list and sort of go try and, you know me, I like to wander about being a weirdo and talking to people who don't know me. No,
I'm going to
not in the hall, just in general.
Just in general. No.
Make him pester yourself around Harrogate.
Yeah.
I'm gunning after Frank at home on the farm because I missed out on the Kickstarter.
Nice. Oh yeah, I think Jordan's going to be there, isn't he?
I believe he is.
Yes.
Yeah, good stuff. I never met him in real life.
Me neither.
No, it's going to be good.
I've not met many of our listeners.
So,
and one thing, do bear that in mind if you come over and see me, or because I more like I forget.
He's very hateful.
So easy.
He's very aggressive in real life. No. No,
it's when they come over, but they know you and you don't know them. That's always a good laugh.
Of course, if you are let's start off with our first tip for our lovely listeners who will be at the show. But if you drop by our table, which is in the Red Shirt Hall, in the entrance hall, there's tons of tables, but we are table 112. But if you come along and say hello, here's the first tip. If we look at you quite blankly, we may not know who you are. So just introduce yourself, and that's a great way to break the ice. Because obviously with avatars, I look nothing like Peter Cushing, but for the whole of October, my avatar was Peter Cushing. So we want to talk to you lovely people and talk about your comics and stuff like that. But I think any comic creator or exhibitor as anything has had that moment where they've been speaking to someone that they didn't know they've talked to quite a lot online. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
And it's only suddenly you just click, oh, you're that person.
Terrible like that.
Yeah. But you don't we can't wait to talk to you, I think. But yeah, like Dan says, if he looks at you blank, he just might need another coffee. So go get him a coffee. Yes, but
or just a full lunch.
Yes.
We'll sit down meal.
If you really like us, bring us a present.
Yeah.
Most of the money will be accepted mostly.
Yeah. Although we will be accepting money and when we accept that money, you will get comics
and
from
all
us.
Pleasures.
And
because we're selling a shitload of comics.
Yes, and we will tell you all about them at the end, just to add final things on your wish list. Hopefully. But we did put a little shout out earlier today about some tips or advice for anyone like exhibiting or visiting just conventions in general. This is not necessarily just Thought Bubble as well, because obviously as everything is starting up, this is a new normal, and it's an ever-changing new normal. So, you know, there may be some things, if you hear this, you never know, you might hear something that sounds obvious but might have slipped your mind. So if we can help you out, that is exactly why we're here.
Have you got the app? Have you got the NHS app?
I do. Yes.
Yeah, I've got mine.
I think that's the first thing. If you want, let's start off with that, Tony. If you want, tell people about that. Just to.
So you need to prove that you're double vaccinated. Is that right? I'm thinking of something. I think it's and I don't think the card on its own is acceptable. Is that right? I saw Chloe had a discussion online about it today.
My card doesn't have dates on it. It just says I've had the vaccine, which I don't think it's particularly handy in this case. So I think you kind of need that app, unless there's another way of getting around it. I don't.
Yeah. I think unless you have a test. I think it's the other way of doing it. Get yourself tested.
If you go to thoughtbubblefestival.com/COVID policy, there is a whole list of stuff there. So please do go there to find out all the details.
It's not difficult. I downloaded that app, and you can sign in. It's quite easy.
Yeah,
and there's only like one button to get your COVID history.
So this is the proof of COVID-19 status. We'll start off with this, and we're not going to read through the whole policy because you can go online and read it for yourself. But to enter Thought Bubble Comic Convention, all those over the age of 18 will need one of the following. You will be asked to show this upon each entry. This includes exhibitors setting up on Friday. So all you exhibitors, like us, who are going to go up and set up, so then we can go have a coffee and complain about life afterwards. But you need a proof of full vaccination or proof of a negative test within the last 48 hours. You can show proof of either of the above with the NHS app, which will generate an event pass which lasts 48 hours. Alternatively,
read that last bit again. Sorry, you can
show proof with the NHS app that Tony was talking about, which will generate an event pass which
does that within the NHS app,
which lasts 48 hours, and it's got a link to how you can find out more about that. Alternatively, you can show proof of a negative test with the email or text that you receive after reporting the test via the government website.
So the NHS app is the one that generates the pass.
Yeah, if you go onto it on the app, you can. It's relative. I did it just by chance. You just flick through a few buttons and it goes, "This pass is now."
Oh, so we can probably do that in the car on the way out, can't we, Dan? So it's like a most recent thing.
Yeah, do it on Friday, so we're ready to roll.
So make sure you do that. Should you be unable to provide the above, they say they will happily roll your ticket or exhibitor table to 2022 or offer a refund. But bear that in mind. If you turn up at the door, if you've travelled a long way, just make sure that you have these things, because you don't want to be turned away at the door. And they will, quite rightfully, turn people away if you can't do these things, as they should. If you know, it seems pretty easy to do.
Well,
if any of us can do it, then
if you've agreed to book
it's easy to find. I just found that pass. Yeah, that's
if you've bought a ticket or got a table, you've already agreed to run by this. So
and they make it very clear on the Thought Bubble website, and in big letters, wear a mask. Unless medically exempt, masks must be worn by everyone in the convention centre who is over the age of 12. You can remove your mask while you eat or drink. This also applies to cosplay. A mask must be visible at all times.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah,
that's really interesting.
There is also there's some things that they strongly encourage, like sanitising your hands, etc., etc. But literally, I mean, instead of reading through that, go to thoughtbubblefestival.com/COVID policy to read all of that, because it is literally in black and white.
We'll have some sanitizer on the table, won't we?
Yeah,
that'll be the part aspect.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
I bought one of those. We've all bought those weird clear plastic masks, haven't we? But I've got.
Mine don't fucking fit.
Yeah, I think me and you have got huge melons, haven't we, Dan?
Yeah, it doesn't fit at all.
Mine sits,
is it the same?
Yeah, it sits on the top of my sort of mid
above your chin, isn't it? Yeah, it's just below your lower lip.
But mine kind of rests almost on my lip. It's fucking horrible.
But it covers my mouth and my nostrils.
Have you tried talking in it?
Because I've got a big
It echoes a bit. I didn't like it.
Oh, okay.
But another, here you go. I think for exhibitors, obviously, if you can try and, I would say it's advisable to try and get one of those see-through plastic masks, purely because there's probably going to be a lot of buzz. There's going to be a lot of talking going on.
Mine was next day delivery. Mine arrived in 24 hours.
That's really good. Yeah.
And purely this is exhibitors, not necessarily for visitors. But certainly, sometimes, even without masks, even before all of this happened, it's difficult to hear people over the other side of a table.
What was that?
Exactly. That's just with us when we're trying to have a conversation and one of us is putting the others off.
Poking each other or something.
Yeah.
It's, like you said, it's bloody hard to hear in those halls at the best of time.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's a good thing.
Yeah.
So just bear that in mind and, it's advisable to get one of those. I mean, I haven't, before this convention, I haven't had one. I've got one for this convention. But certainly when I walk around the convention, I will probably have my cloth mask and stuff like that.
I'd be interested to see what the spacings between the tables is going to be. That'd be interesting.
Yeah,
I saw Chloe.
I would like a bit of gap.
Yeah, me too. I saw Chloe reply to, is it Leonard Dudark? I think his last name, who had a video up. And he was talking to what's his
San Diego.
That's him, Man in San Diego.
Yeah.
And she was saying, there was a couple. I don't know. I'm just sort of summarising what she said, but paraphrasing. But it's something like, "There's a couple of mistakes. I'll email you," but it didn't really clarify what it was. And so I watched the bit he talked about the thought bubble, and he was saying, I'm not sure if it was about spacing of tables, because he was saying the layout looks similar to last year, which means there might not be spacing, but I'm not sure whether that's what she didn't agree with or something. I didn't really make it clear. So I'm hoping that there's going to be more spaces between tables. Because I think in our hall last year or last time, Vince, it wasn't too bad, was it?
No, there's certainly lots of space behind your table.
Yeah, but last year in the hall you had to walk through to leave, where we stopped and had a chat with a couple of people, didn't we, as we were leaving?
Yeah,
that seemed to be tighter in there. So I'm hoping that, because that's all we're in, isn't it, this year?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm hoping it's a bit spacier.
Yeah.
We're in the red shirt hall, aren't we?
Yeah.
Okay.
Chloe, I put a shout out to Chloe just for some thought bubble based comments. She said, and she replied with for exhibitors, just a couple of things. Practice your setup in advance, take photos and use them for reference. I think that's a good idea. Sometimes I'm trying to figure out where I'm going to place things.
We're going to get some lovely photographs.
But I'm lying on the table like Burt Reynolds.
That Coke moment.
Of course, like if you're sort of early bird nerds like us, we're going to get there on the Friday, and I'm going to admit it, I get fucking weird about table layouts. These two have to put up with me sort of like moving things out. Like,
can I use the word anal? Yeah. I know you like me to, but okay.
Yeah.
I mean it in the nicest possible way.
You can.
I'm glad you are, because I ain't.
So, but that's because we'll get there and we'll probably have a bit of, we're planning to get there and have a bit of time. But of course, not all of you do have time to do that. Not all of you have got the, you might, just because of travel or whatever, you might get there later than you want. So it's a good idea to have a clear idea in your head what that table setup's going to be like, because you don't, in an ideal world, you don't want to be setting up.
Vince draws a mini model of it. He creates a model of the table.
I fucking will have. I have in the past.
An actual model rather than a drawing.
It is worth doing, because there's times where we put stuff together and it's just like there's so much stuff on the table. It's like you get the person come out to it have overload of what am I looking at?
Thought Bubble sent out the big exhibitor email, all in caps. So make sure you've read all of that, because that will have lots of information if you're an exhibitor there. They did, we'll talk a bit about this. They did a tweet about if visitors will be bringing cash, card, or both. And if you go on Thought Bubble's Twitter, you'll see that the poll there. This is quite useful. This is interesting, because I think this is a topic that a lot of people have been discussing and talking about, isn't it? Because I think there's going to be both, isn't there? I think.
Of course there is. Yeah.
I would say having a card reader and being able to accept card payments has never been more important. I think we're certainly. I'm going to say.
I've seen a lot of chatter about people getting a card reader.
Yeah. I mean, but we understand. These things are an expense, and sometimes they're technology can be frustrating. So obviously, but it is advisable, especially if you've got big ticket items as well. Just say you're selling like a 20-30 quid print or a book or something. I think it almost goes without saying now that you need to have that card reader, don't you? For those sort of things, because I already know I'm going to spend more than I want to because I'll have a card with me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I've got to remember to bring along a cardboard poster tube.
Yeah,
those things are like gold dust.
Yeah, I've got a couple.
Well, those hot flips things are good. I like them. Yeah. The flat ones.
They're good.
Yeah.
So
because I did see Chris Imber saying he's taking along some original pages for sale.
Yeah.
Oh, I saw that. Yeah.
Snap some of them up.
So obviously, if you've got a card reader, definitely take it with you. And I know this will be mentioned later in some of the comments that we have. If you've got a card reader, as I've done today, check it, update it. If you've got one that you haven't used for a while, it's like a phone. They're updating all the flipping time. So you don't want to be doing that during a convention. Make sure you do it all now. Make sure you charge it, and all of that good stuff. It'll just. I spent a good half an hour, 45 minutes, slightly panicking about it until I realised that I needed to charge it a bit before I could update it, and then it updated quite a bit, and now it's fine. So we'll be taking card payments. But there was that moment of like, oh shit, is this out of date? Can I not use this? So certainly do your due diligence now.
So what's the greeting nowadays? We fist bumping, or you do the elbow tap? I'm completely out of the loop with that.
I'll be French.
I'd fist bump everyone.
I'll be French kissing you down, but that's fine.
Fair enough.
But I think just a wave hello, a salute, or whatever whatever you're comfortable with. And I know a lot of people are just. These are difficult times, and like people aren't necessarily comfortable with a lot of stuff.
I've got my greeting sorted.
Yeah. Oh god.
Hey Tony, how are you?
Good. But I mean,
you could do that greeting from Demolition Man. Do you remember that one?
No.
Like, so your hands are about like 5-6 inches apart, and they do like a kind of like wave round and then off.
Oh, that's nice.
Oh yeah. Or do the Red Dwarf greeting. But we're actually going to have a table next to the Maddiest guys who put out a tweet earlier this week. I think they're going to have a sign on their table just sort of saying, we'll be taking card and stuff, but they're not going to be. Amazing. We all want to have a high five.
Got to remember to pick up some ibuprofen. That reminds me.
Yeah. What? I've got to edit that out. I gotta edit that out.
No, you can put that in. Come on,
leave it in.
Oh god. But yes, some people obviously just be thoughtful of what other people are comfortable with. So I probably won't be touching anyone.
Liar.
Oh,
see that?
The promises you made.
Genuine disappointment live.
There's loads of people there. This is like instantly. Oh no.
Yeah.
I know, but you can take pictures live.
Yeah.
We'll be feeding the horse left, right, and centre.
Looking's free. Touching out cost you.
Yeah. God. Why do I feel like they're going to just treat me like a piece of meat?
We talk the talk, but then we end up
around
no, we're very timid.
We'll be throwing you around like Justin Bieber in prison.
Oh my god. Anyway,
get up for a few jars. Curry.
We'll probably
get on the lash.
We'll talk a bit more. They talk like men behaving badly, but they're like.
I don't even drink anymore.
They're fucking Sesame Street in real life, right?
I ain't drunk for fucking over a year. I don't think I've had a beer.
We'll be shit at drinking now, aren't we? Because we haven't had practice. Yeah.
Now, fuck me.
Be cheaper. Yeah.
So, also for visitors, Chloe has just advised have a full read of our programme before the weekend and plan out some of the things you might want to do, people you want to catch signings of, and talks, etc. She's always surprised how many people completely miss the other things going off at the convention.
Check that they're still going as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
do check. That's an important thing, I think. If you're going there for a particular person, then rather than spending the money and being disappointed, do check that person's still there, because not everyone is super up to date on social media about who's going to be there and who's not. Have a look.
There has been some cancellations, and
there has.
For obvious reasons, with everything going down.
Which makes an easy time to travel, but do it, because I think
spend all that time traveling to Harrogate, get a ticket in, and then so and so isn't here.
It's not our job to go through the list of cancellations, but it is worth you checking.
No.
Yeah. It's all about being informed. This whole thing. And have fun. Respect people's space and buy loads and loads of comics. Well, that's that's advice that anyone should give anyone who loves.
But come to our table, spend money, buy books, and then go and look at everyone else's.
Yeah. Come to our table first, spend all your money, and then just.
To be fair, you haven't got much money with you if you spend all your money at our table, unless you buy everything on the table. If all the money you've got in your pocket is £15.50, I think you'll be all right.
Yeah. No, you'll be good.
Yeah.
Good.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. So that was some tips of that Chloe had. We also put out a sort of post to the outer world. Some people who are probably going to be at the show. Some people who are just conventions in general. And we had some replies. Thank you to everyone that got involved. Paul Tonner.
I like Paul's work. He's
Paul
good,
Tonner Art. Did he do Nom?
Yes, that's right. We reviewed it years ago, didn't we?
Love that.
Yeah.
If you're, he mentioned if you've got one of those portable card readers, make sure you switch it on and update it.
Good.
He also said, don't trust that you'll get Wi-Fi or even 4G inside the venue. Prepare for that by taking extra cash.
Fivers. You always need fivers.
Yeah.
It's all right taking tenors, but the likelihood you'll need a fiver. Yeah, and pound coins. Yeah.
He also followed that up with, if it's your first time, prepare yourself for the Thunderdome, because it's awesome being at a convention. But make sure you have a nice... He didn't say that, I added that a little bit. Make sure you have a nice table covering. Nobody likes a bare table. Go to your local haberdashery or get one online.
Great use of the word haberdashery, by the way.
Anyone who uses the word haberdashery has just gone up a level on my ladder of respect. He says, a big sturdy second-hand suitcase with a telescoping handle is great for carrying your gear.
Very specific, Paul.
Yeah. Go, and also he says, go for tough inbuilt wheels, not casters. Paul, we need to get you on the show.
That's interesting.
We need to really go into.
Has Paul got a table there? Does he say on his Twitter account? I don't know.
I don't think. I'm not sure if he has. We'll see. But
on a pinned tweet or anything.
If he does. Yeah.
I met him at Glasgow a few years ago. He's a good dude. Yeah.
Nice. A couple of other comments. I'll just run through them. Before we start rambling ourselves. Lucy Sullivan. First time tabling for me.
So I couldn't believe that was her first time tabling. That's
first time tabling at T-Club. So this will be very helpful. I've packed too much, I'm sure. Too many comics to sell, table set up, banner, loads of masks and anti-back stuff. It's complicated and my case always weighs a ton. Also lots of warm clothes. It's cold in those halls. Pack those thermals. That's a good bit of advice.
Yeah, it's cold in the old legs, isn't it, when you're standing there sometimes.
Bring some food with you, because you might not get a chance to go and get any.
I cannot wait for the Dan Butcher hamper.
Oh yeah, he loves
it's a joy every time.
What did you bring when we were at True Believers that time? That was a cornucopia of stuff, wasn't it?
Oh, nice use of the cornucopia.
God, yeah.
Thank you.
You should just hit the local supermarket and just bring back a load of stuff.
Yeah. Fucking mini rolls.
All the Scandinavian
It's all going to have to be individual packed cakes and biscuits this time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, we can't really have a pick and mix between this, can we?
No. Yeah. I always try and find Dan cakes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, cakes. They
because it's a bit
rarely find them.
Yeah. I wonder if the pandemic has affected the sales of Bombay Mix. I bet it has, hasn't it?
Yeah, because people don't go in on that kind of
thing. I know.
What?
I hate it.
You hate
if you got some beers like Bombay Mix.
What? What? I just don't like Bombay Mix. I also don't like baked beans.
Nazi.
There you go.
Anglophobic.
Gareth Hopkins says,
yes.
Don't know when I'll be next doing a convention.
He's had a bad day of trying to print his comic at home. I see.
Yeah. Go check out GR Think, because
he's coming up later with some new releases.
Yeah. But he gave 3 bits of advice. 1, give yourself breaks for fresh air and to talk to other people.
Yeah.
Very wise.
Yeah.
Don't feel you have to be locked to your table all the time, especially if you're wearing a mask all the time. That'll probably get quite claustrophobic and a little bit. It is difficult.
Sometimes... we're in a mask all the time. I'm going to go outside and get some.
So we'll be moving about and getting fresh air. Obviously for us, there's going to be 3 of us at our table, so it's going to be easier for one of us just to be like, I need for.
We don't want 3 people behind the table, do we? All the time. It's too packed.
So, but even if you're on your own, if you're exhibiting on your own, one of the Thought Bubble people will be there to just look after your table if you need 5 minutes. But make sure you look after yourself.
Yeah, try and introduce yourself to the people on your left and right. I don't know what the situation is going to be at Thought Bubble, whether it's going to be screens or space or whatever, but it's good to get to know the people left and right.
Yeah. 2, get a card reader. Covered that one. 3, stay cheerful. Remember, you're probably there to have fun, not mope that no one's buying your
Gareth.
comics.
Yes.
I feel like Gareth is my dad at a family get-together.
Cheer up, Tony.
Smile,
Anthony,
smile.
Yes. I mean, we've all been at shows where, we had the sales
faces like
great.
Slapped asses.
Yeah.
I think you need a base level of customer service skills if you're working a table.
Yeah. If someone walks up, just don't look at your phone and go, that's never good.
Some people don't even do that.
Yeah, I know.
Don't treat the person that's come to see you and maybe buy your comic as like an annoyance.
Yeah.
Yes, so remember that.
But then don't do the fucking hard sell either, in my opinion.
Yeah, there's a balance, isn't there? Be friendly and it's available for sale, but don't be that one of putting it in your hand and all this sort of. I fucking hate that.
Rory Draws.
Good. He's going to be there, isn't he?
Yeah.
Oh, brilliant.
And
he does like a long journey. I think your drive's bad, Vince, but his journey's fucking worse.
Whatever convention we see him at, he seems like he's like caught a hot air balloon to get there.
It's like watching. He does it all on social media, isn't he? His long journey.
You are an absolute legend, Rory. We can't wait to catch up with you. And his advice is prepare yourself for awesomeness. And he's very excited about it. Thought Bubble.
Yeah, good day.
So it's going to be good.
Look forward to seeing him.
Alison Sampson says, bring comforts, a hot drink, hand cream, because you'll be doing a lot of hand cleansing. That's very true, actually. A lot of people talk about the anti-bac.
Hang on, hand cream?
Yes, like hand moisturiser
fucking
and stuff, which sounds weird, but
the sanitizer bends the skin off.
Yeah, anti-bac, if you're using it all the time, your hands are you're going to look like you've fucking been carrying bags of coal. Tony,
I've got hands like a bricky, me. I'll be fine.
Well, we'll see. We'll see.
But hands like shovels.
Just in case we hear him go, oh, my hands are sore. Remember this.
I thought there was 2 of me on the line there for a second. Genuinely.
I thought there was an echo. It says, bring bags, a whiteboard for prices and your PayPal address written out. A box cutter, string, surprisingly useful. That's quite good. That's one of the things we have on the back.
Really?
Yeah. And as Dan Butcher will attest to, a nice packed lunch so you can take a break and eat with your table neighbours. Who doesn't love a packed lunch? The guys of the Lakes Comic Art Fest pod say, get change for your cash box and charge batteries for your phone. And add a portable charger. Obvious, but so easily forgotten.
I hope they're going. I haven't seen them for a while.
I think they could be.
I'd recommend putting your phone in like the low battery mode or anything, because you think, this is not too bad, and then you're there for what? You could be in that conventional for 9 hours.
Yeah.
And it will just bleed out.
Nikki draws
and phone.
Nicole from the Lakes pod brings up a very interesting point. Remember, even though it's not supposed to, a sum-up card reader thingy, as she calls it, can attach itself to another vendor, making yours not work. So pair up before people get there.
Oh, great. That's a good point.
That's a good bit of advice.
Yeah.
Make sure that you've done your Bluetooth pairing to whatever you have to do before everything kicks off.
As soon as possible, because when there's loads of people in there, it really seems to jam it out, doesn't it? We've had troubles with that before.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah. Cadmus to Crisis. Very simple, very important, very true. Drink water. Yeah.
Thanks, Cadmus, for Crisis.
You're going to need that. Bex at Schnum.
Is she next to us or something? Who's the lady who's next to us?
I think she is. I always look forward to.
Firstly, apologies.
Yeah. We're sorry, but we can't wait to sort of chat with you and stuff because it's always nice chatting with the table neighbours.
The feeling will not be mutual, but we will be enthusiastic and friendly.
I'm quite interested. We got someone from the Spider Forest on the table next to us as well.
Is that who that lady is? Oh, that's right. You like Spider Forest.
There's two people selling, two people on the one table.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah.
Yes. Bex is the author of Lavender Clouds, a comic about autism, ADHD, and mental health. So there you go.
Excellent.
And she's at Schnum on Twitter. But she said Yoshi Squared did an amazing thread on convention tabling tips that might be helpful.
She wants to listen to our tips. They're the best. And
there is a link. This is Yoshitani. I think this is American creator because they're tabling at Emerald Comic Con at Yoshi Squared. This was from October 19, but it's also been updated. There's a huge sort of link and thread about all kinds of things. It's it could be a whole show by itself going through. So it's very handy. We'll put a link in the show notes for that. So lots of things to think about. This thread also, if you check out at the Awesome Pod and this thread, there will probably be, because after we talk about this, that thread will probably still be added to for this show. So definitely check out the thread, see what other bits of advice, just because you never know what bits everyone can't think of everything. So it's sometimes nice to have a list, someone talking to about it.
I always like to have two masks. You always drop one, don't you?
What,
one always falls out of your pocket.
Yeah.
Or something.
You're supposed to, if it's a cloth one, you're supposed to change it every day, ain't you? So I don't know.
Yeah. So, but of course, that was just some of the advice that we had there from people who know what they're talking about. Obviously, just what advice would we give? Write a list of things you want to take while it's all in your head. Just take a moment to really think about it. Write down everything, even if it doesn't seem important, even if it's just bottle of water, lunch, card reader, cash box, blah blah blah, because we've
Viagra.
Viagra. Write that on twice. No, but no, literally, it just when you're packing all your stuff, it'll just be handy. Because I can guarantee there's 3 of us at this table. We're going to have lots of cool stuff, and it's probably going to be chaos underneath the table. My bit of advice is try and keep the space underneath the table as organised as you can. It's going to be difficult every 2 days when there's lots of stuff going on. Because
essentially we're going to be doing having limited stock on the table. When you ask for when you want something, it gets brought out.
Totally. And
it's frustrating when you can't get your legs under the table, because that's virtually us at every con. Because there's so much.
It's like rolling suitcases and stuff we'll have under there, aren't we?
Yeah. And also reader copies. We're going to have them. There will be a sacrificial. No one wants to sacrifice one of their printed books, do they? But I think they should. There should be a sacrificial copy of whatever comics you're going to have at the top. So
we got like a special stand, haven't we, for the front of the table for each of us to put like the main one we're selling, I suppose, at the front there.
So and if people can read through, and then if they want it, they can ask you for it, and you can give them a fresh copy from behind. That sounded weird when I said it out loud. It was all right in my head. No, but all the stock will be behind the table. I think it's just things like that because, it's different times, isn't it? You can't have. I mean, sometimes you look at your convention table and people are hovering around with a cup of coffee and like, and just sort of like flicking through all your books and things like that.
I think the other thing we haven't really mentioned is Postcon. If you'll have been in a place with lots of people. It's going to be worth. I'm going to do a lateral flow test the week after.
Yes.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. On when I get home on the Monday or something.
Yeah. Are you going to do it on the Monday when you get home? Yeah.
Yeah. I think so.
I think that's very wise.
Bit of self-care
because everyone's going to
don't want to be alarmist. That fucking place is well high on the old infections rate, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Where we're going.
Yeah,
and it's only going to get worse because you've got people coming from all over the country and elsewhere. Yeah.
So everyone's going to take every precaution they can, hopefully. But it's best to just do that anyway, I think, because no one wants to get sick. So yeah, that's very wise, Tony. A very, very good idea to do. Even though on the Monday when you get back or whenever it'll be, you'll probably be tired, but that's the time to.
Yeah, we'll be messaging each other, complaining about how tired we are.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, before we get into, I mean, with this sort of show, because normally we're like, Thought Bubble, can't wait for it, blah 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 blah, and it feels different having to go through these. Make sure you've packed your packed lunch. All of that stuff. It feels strange to be doing that, but I think it's never more important to say that to people. I mean, God bless the people that were at MCM. I know. Obviously, that was a different kind of show, but that's, that I can't. I knew Tony. You popped in there for a little bit, and I know a couple of people that sort of popped in, and I think that there weren't many people wearing masks past the door, was there?
There was very few. Yeah, that was very strange. I mean, as you were walking down the slope to get in, there was sort of a number of security guards who you had to show proof of vaccination to. They were looking at stuff very quickly, and then they gave you a wristband to show that you've been vaccinated.
Yeah. But
I showed a card, and there was no check to see that the name on the card was my name. I think they should have been. Yeah.
I mean, I think MCM is obviously the big corporate entity. There's lots of moving cogs for that. Thought Bubble is also a very independent show, so I think they're going to be more on it in terms of checking things constantly and doing what they can. I mean, the people that help at Thought Bubble are always great anyway. Whenever we've been there, so God bless them, and we hope they're going to be all right during the whole weekend, because I don't know. I think there is, there's going to be a small wave of people worried after a show, and purely because not because anything bad will happen, but post convention exhaustion, because when you
run down. I mean, they are doing, and we will be doing everything we can to avoid getting infection.
Yeah.
But it's not possible to avoid everyone getting, getting it. And somebody's going to come away with it.
Yeah. That's going to happen.
So just be sensible. I mean, obviously, everyone's going to be tired. Everyone will be tired on the Monday when they go home. There is going to be the whew. But like say, lateral flow, just make sure you're all okay, and that's exhibitors, visitors, all the people helping at Thought Bubble.
And wherever you're staying as well, be careful about where you're staying. I always think take some antibacterial wipes to the place you're staying. I always do the same.
That's a great idea.
Didn't even consider that.
Yeah. I mean, certainly wherever you're booking. I mean, the place that I've booked, where me and Dan have got a bunk bed. And
is it really a bunk bed? Tell me it is.
And we're going to stay up under the duvet reading comics with a torch in the middle of the night.
Playing up Periscope, down Periscope.
No, not like that. Dear God, Tony. But definitely, this place has sent out an email just giving the details of check-in and their policies and stuff like that. So, if you're wherever you're staying, if they haven't done that, just make sure you look into it and make sure that everyone is informed. I think that's the big message of this week's show, really. Just be careful and be informed, and then you can look forward to just spending loads of money on comics on what's going to be a great weekend.
I want a load of dirty paper.
Yeah, and we're gonna. I'm looking forward to the comic hauls, the photos. I'm definitely going through. Going to the Thought Bubble Festival website, which is much like a music festival website, and looking at the names and seeing, making note of the ones I definitely want to go to and pick up their new work, as well as some new discoveries.
Cadence are there, aren't they? Cadence Comic Book Art, I think, are there, aren't they?
Oh, wow. Are they?
Yeah. So aren't they the people that are coming over with David Mack? Is that right?
I think so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You got it on have you got it in front of you, V?
I'll just have a look at it now. Right.
Yeah. Now, don't let me spend too much on OA. I'm banging OA at the moment. I'm running out of wall space and folder space. Yeah.
Well, I can't promise anything, Tony.
I'm not going to try and restrain you between you and comic art.
Me and a John Byrne original or something. Yeah. I think Hardman's got a lot of pages at Cadence actually. Gabriel Hardman. Yeah.
Plays out as me and Vince might be at the table. Tony came over and said, "I've just seen this bit of original art. Thinking about getting it," and then he disappeared. And then he come back, so yeah, I've got it.
yeah. The fear of missing out.
The
fear of missing out will have hit me. Have you said? Is it? I'm not imagining that, am I, Vince? You've got it there in front of you, babes.
I'm just looking, but I can't see on the website.
It's not an easy map to find stuff on it. I'd quite like to one you can sort of alphabeticize or tap on. I think for me.
Because you have the list of numbers. Yeah, I think maybe the map could have like two versions where.
Yeah.
Need some HTML5 action where you could kind of search for exhibitor or something.
Yeah. So I think they might. Yeah, I think they might be.
Do you find it? How do you find them?
I was just looking at Cadence Comic Art on Twitter. But
where's the map
on
the website? Oh, there we go.
Yeah. Tony's on the website. There's maps of all of the halls. There's the exhibitors and stuff. Go forth and look through, and find for yourself like the creators that you're going to be buying from or seeing, and whether it be guests or exhibitors, or it'll just help you out a little bit in the long run. But there is also some new stuff being launched there, isn't there, Tony?
Yes. So I did put a shout out for I can't see Cadence now on the flipping thing.
That's right. You go on. I'll see if I can
find it. Yeah. So I put a shout out on the Slack to see if anyone's got anything. No, not necessarily just at Thought Bubble, but people who are releasing stuff around the same time as well. I think that's only fair. So we got quite a few come back to us. Mark Abnett, he's going to be at Thought Bubble. He'll be launching Schism Fracture, which he describes as think about something like Battle Angel meets the Raid. On the Slack, actually, I don't know if you remember, Dan, Mark shared the cover and asked for advice on it. Do you remember?
Yes, I do.
It was quite a nice little talking about how covers and what to do on it and stuff like that. And everyone was not snarky, but full of sort of good advice. I think he took some of it to heart. Al Henderson will have two tables down from us, and he's going to have loads of new books that's new to Thought Bubble. Vision from 2020, Coincidence, Burnout, and the new one, which I've got as well, just arrived, Master of Nine. Jordan Thomas is going to be there. He'll have copies of Frank at Home on the Farm for people who missed out on the Kickstarter.
Me.
Nick Bryan will have Fairy Fair 1 from him and artist Rosie Alexander, who we've seen her work from before.
Oh, Rosie's there.
I'm not sure if she's there, but the book's there. He didn't specify.
Okay.
I think she's done Fairy Fair 1 as the artist with him. He's worked with her before, hasn't he? What was that Tower Block one he did with her?
Quarantine. No.
The one about Nick Bryan did. We reviewed it. I lost in the haze.
The Little Deaths.
That's it. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Gareth Hopkins is not going to be there, sadly, so I'll be missing Gareth there. But he's building up for a drop of maybe up to 3 or 4 books. He's going to drop at once, which he's busy sorting out and producing at the moment. I saw him having a bit of a bad weekend of printing stuff, but I'll be certainly buying all of them. If you go to grthink.bigcartel.com, you can find them. We will have the last few DUIs drawn under the influence from the group on our table. There's only a very few left. I'm actually selling. I bought multiples because it was for charity, so I'm going to resell them. So the money from that, because it's print money now. All the money now goes direct to Refuge. So I think Sarah might have 2 left. I think literally not many left, and we'll probably have, I think, 9 on the table.
Wow, okay.
No second print of this, and I've got yours, Dan, and I think Sarah's got yours, Vince.
Yeah.
So there'll be it's not getting reprinted. So get it out, and it's for a good cause. It's for Refuge, which is pretty good, which is a charity that supports people who have been victims of domestic violence and need somewhere to live. So come and get that. They're the ones I've got so far, babes.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah. There's on pipedreamcomics.co.uk. There's a big list which kicks off almost immediately with Dan Butcher's Vanguard, but we'll get into that in a moment. There's lots of stuff from past guests, etc. There's going to be a one I've noticed is there's a collection of Dan Whitehead's Hex Loader, which I've heard.
I like his stuff. Yeah,
nice one.
A lot of good things about. And there's going to be Sir Gawain and the Green Knight by John Reppion and Mark Penman, which is.
We got a message from him on the Twitter,
yes, we have.
Yeah.
Nick Gonzo's Black Dragon which
looks
great.
I want to see that. I need to read that.
I've got that to read.
But he's going to be there with that. Pete Dorries, Kids from Wreck Road.
Oh, I've got that. That's great. Yeah, he's got a table. I think he's next to Sean, isn't he? Next to Sean Phillips.
Yeah.
Because they both feature in the comic.
Lyndon will be there with Lyndon White with the candles.
Yeah.
Everyone to look out for.
Yeah.
Cool.
Some of the people that we spoke to on last year's digital convention, of course, are going to be there now. So they'll have a lot of books. Like Chris Hazeldene's going to have a Golf Girl, the collection, as well. And
Kat Chapman's going to be there. That pleases me to see that.
Yeah.
And Nick Brokenshire, he's going to be there.
Yeah.
God, yeah.
Seeing him.
Charles Raymond's going to have a new comic, The Gravedigger. And of course, James Lawrence is The Legend of La Mariposa, The Climb, and Other Stories, as well as all his books. Go see James Table because he's just a legend anyway. So he's awesome, and he's always a good chat. We'll probably end up talking to him during the show anyway. And there's just going to be loads of stuff. So whether go to the Thought Bubble website. Go to Pipe Dream Comics. Go to lots of people. If you look on social media, people are talking about all the stuff they're going to have at the show anyway.
Yeah.
David Mack is still on the guest page.
And I want you to know, Tony, I did look it up. Cadence, God help us, Dan. Cadence Comic Art are in the Red Shirt Hall.
Oh.
Table,
same as us, isn't it?
Table
127.
127.
Oh my God.
They are just.
Well, probably won't see much of you over the weekend, guys.
No, we're not going to see it much. But yeah, they're just up from us.
They're just up the way,
yeah.
Oh, nice.
But
we must plan some form of heist.
There is we're talking about the maps and stuff. If you go on the Thought Bubble website, of course, there's pretty clear maps that they've made with like telling you where the facilities are, escalators, stairs, etc. But yeah, we're in the Red Shirt Hall, the main entrance. So,
what's upstairs? You know they had those escalators there last time. What is upstairs?
Queen's Suite.
I barely made it away from the table.
Up the escalators. The Queen's Suite is panels, workshops, and the Thought Bubble Lounge.
There's a lounge.
Yeah. There's also
we get into the lounge?
There's also There's also a kids zone as well for the weekend if you're taking your family. Shut up, Tony. Everyone is welcome.
They have a calf there or something.
Hey?
Did they have a calf on site? Did they have a calf on site?
You can get coffee and stuff. Yeah,
you get coffee and sandwiches and stuff.
You two can go off and get by yourselves a tea and come back and not buy me one. So
there you go. Cheers, tea. He said it on the showdown, so we don't.
I bought you. What did I buy you last year? Cheesy crisps.
Oh yeah. You're a good man, Tony.
It's
not true what they're saying.
I've never been there. So, like, where the convention centre is, we're in like in the middle of a town.
Yeah, it's a big old town. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So there's like, is there fast food restaurants around it?
Yeah,
Sainsbury's,
McDonald's 5 minutes away, and supermarkets.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah. There's a Weatherspoons, which is really close, which is all right for something to eat in the evening.
Yeah.
It's actually quite a nice Weatherspoons. I'm gonna put my neck on that.
There will be no Thought
nice,
Bubble. There will be no Thought Bubble mid-convention party. They did put a shout out for it, and like obviously look into Harrogate and see what's there. If you'll be there over the weekend, if you just want to chill out afterwards, I think it's gonna be a more chilled event, isn't it? I think.
Yeah, we're going to go for a meal on the Friday. We're just having a Don's meal, aren't we?
Yeah, the Don's.
Yeah.
The Don's. Oh, dear God.
I love that fucking phrase.
Yeah. So it's going to be good, but obviously...
if you're not asked, you're not invited.
Yeah, what is it? They sound good, fellows? Fridays for wives, Saturdays for girlfriends.
God, Jesus Christ.
Fridays for the Dons. Don't want Saturdays for.
God. What have I led myself into?
Don't have a Thought Bubble in my room.
They have a Thought Bubble party on Saturday. Is that?
Nah, they're not doing it this year. They used to. Yeah. They used to. I always used to enjoy walking up the stairs and watching Rich Johnson dancing.
Yeah,
if you can call it that.
Always worth it.
Yeah. I can't say anything. I've never seen Rich Johnson dance, so I'll take that back, Rich.
And also, there may not be a Dan Butcher around the convention because it's quite a big convention, so it might be a big video.
Oh, we can do a little saucy one.
Oh yeah, it's definitely going to be.
Oh, let's do around Betty's. Dan Butcher. My name's Dan Butcher. I'm going to walk around Betty's.
I cannot wait to have a cream tea and a cup of tea with you, chaps, like the absolute rock and roll Motley Crue style legend I am.
Yeah, Pete Dory told me it closed, but you reckon it's open still, didn't you?
It looks like it's open. Pete, do we need to talk? Do we need to talk?
I've updated the website. You know what it's like.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, we'll have to have a look.
Yeah, it's historical. Okay. Surely it's not going to close that easily. Is
We're legends in there. Probably get free table, free food, and everything.
Slap in the face of his.
Tony's a pianist. He's a little pianist.
Have a tinkle on the ivories in there.
Watch yourself.
The old Joanna.
Oh my word. But like I say, we're going to be there, table 112 in the Red Shirt Hall, and we are not just going to be standing around. We're going to have stuff at the table.
I do forward rolls.
This is going
to the yeah.
This is a it's kind of weird selling our own stuff, isn't it? Really on the show.
Yeah,
but
we never push our own stuff. We are shit at that. To be fair. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, for those who are going to visit us, we are going to have a couple of new things, and and it's going to be quite an eclectic selection of stuff. We will, of course, we're going to have price charts and all this kind of jazz at the table. Like I say, there's going to be reader copies.
Yeah, well, that's Vince's job because he likes doing that.
I'm so weird, but let's just briefly talk about what we're going to have available at the table. Tony, you've been conventioning more than me and Dan recently, so
I've done that one, haven't I? And I've got another one coming up, which I'll tell you about in a minute. It's quite amusing. But so we did do Meanwhile. Wasn't great for sales, to be fair, but we did do that one. So this will be the second outing for everything, I think, from George Mayhem. So I'll have 1 to 4. So Hercules 1 and 2, Hercules Goes Commando, and Hercules Weapon of Mass Destruction. They'll be for sale. And I'll also have George Mayhem, which is so Hercules done with foul P, and George Mayhem done with 4P. I only work with people with an F for their name. So I'll have those for sale, and they're reduced in price just because I don't want to sell them, I suppose.
Yeah,
because it's Thought Bubble.
Yeah.
So come and only for adults. They're all adults only comics. Sorry, people.
Yeah, unfortunately, I've got to say that about mine as well.
Yeah. So but they're a laugh. I think you'll enjoy them if you haven't had one. You probably, you might enjoy it. Come by and have a chat with me about it. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Hard sell. Look at that hard sell.
Hard sell.
Yeah.
easy, Tony.
Yeah. Dan, what are you? A lot of people are obviously going to be looking forward to seeing you.
Yes.
Because,
Quite obviously.
Well, because some people think
you weren't there last year, were you?
Yeah, and
I've never been there.
Some people think
true,
you've been created by Industrial Light and Magic, and then we've just made you up. But you do actually exist.
Occasionally, I pretend to be you and do rude things.
Yeah, that's probably why the police have been around so much, Dan.
You hear sirens.
Yeah. But as well as Dan Butcher's face, what else are you going to have for that?
Right, I'm bringing restocks of book 1, 2, and 3 of Vanguard. So that'd be cool. I don't think I only did one con with book 3, and that was the True Believers just before we all went into lockdown for the first time. You remember that?
Yeah.
So, but this one I'm bringing Vanguard book 4, which I've got the blurb for right here, which is join the Wolf's Head and her group of compatriots as they confront the tyrannical forces that rule a fractured United Kingdom. Together they face an enslaved population tricked into military servitude, a murderous game show filled with homicidal metahumans and brutal gangland forces that control the criminal underworld. And that's going to be on sale for the first time at True Believers. And we've got Viper, which I did a Kickstarter for last November. Fuck me, time. Just
out to your hell, man.
Work. And this is the first time I've done a con with the collected Viper, and that's join the adventure with Sloan Viperina as he drives the high-tech urban pacification vehicle known as Viper. His mission, to rid 1980s Los Angeles of the vicious drug lords that rule the city streets. Expect action, mayhem, sexy babes, and carnage delivered with a unique synthwave flavour.
It's got an excellent introduction as well.
It does.
Yeah.
Done by your boy Riptide. That's a 52-page comic, that one. So,
wow, look at that.
Yeah.
Free boots.
I mean, like Vanguard, Dan, like complete your collection, people. I know there's definitely going to be people coming back to
4 trades, man. That is outstanding work.
Yeah.
Should be 5, and then that'll be it.
I mean, you're going to have
you got to do the big old collection, the slipcase.
Yeah, the vanity collection.
Yeah.
I mean, you're going to have the hardest work in terms of lugging stuff together. So.
Yeah, yours is the heaviest books.
Yeah.
Mine go in a rucksack. You need a tank to carry yours.
So
I'm trying to work out how many to bring of what.
So, well,
you can always leave them in the car, man. Just bring a suitcase full of leave them in the car.
And certainly, people, if you're going to Thought Bubble, just help Dan out. If you're definitely going to be at Thought Bubble and you want Vanguard, whether it be the latest book, just the latest book, or perhaps you want to catch up, or perhaps you want the whole fucking set because you're rolling deep.
Why not?
Then give us a message. Give Dan a DM. And just
pre-orders are good. Yeah, definitely.
Do a pre-order.
I've got nods already for the book 4. So
I
want
one. So
they will put aside for the people who have asked.
So just let Dan know what you'd like and what day you're going to be there, and then that'll help Dan, won't it? You can just
put aside, big time.
Put aside stuff, which is also probably another tip for some creators that because obviously this is the thing. If some creators are bringing loads and loads of books, but it can be quite a struggle to take lots of big heavy books and stuff. So if you definitely don't want to miss out, and you're going to be there, don't fuck people about. Don't say you want one if you're not going to turn up.
It might not be too late to approach an artist about a commission. Some people do it.
Some people don't. Some time. Yeah.
So definitely get in touch with your creators.
I'm not going to be doing any of that on the day.
You're not doing any sketching on the day, guys? No, is that the plan?
I mean, I'd say I'm probably going to bring a pad and a pencil with me and stuff, but it's not going to be like taking
official. Yeah. Just do stuff as presents, maybe, or the odd thing. Yeah. It's like the time. Do you remember when we were at Troobs and they came around with that drawing and they said, "Oh, can you do this jam piece?" And you're like, "Fucking hell!"
Yeah.
Looking at all the professionals,
like
and I'm like, I'm about to devalue this.
Yeah,
you did fine, mate. But I remember your face going, "Fucking hell,
fucking hell." Yeah. It's like the Kaizama done fucking like a transformer, like immaculate, just dashed it off, and I was like, "Don't fuck this up."
Yeah,
Vincenzo, what will you have there, my friend? Because I'm very excited.
Yes.
Well, I'm gonna have a couple of things there. I will still have copies of my sketchbook that you'll be able to pick up for cheap as chips.
Do you have any of the Prince of the Vampire, the What We Do in Shadows?
I do. I do. I've got plenty of those.
I would like.
And I think you find if you. Yeah. Okay. If you're not going to Thought Bubble, you can buy Vince's sketchbook over at neveronanything.bigcartel.com as well.
There you go.
There you go. It's on there.
Yes, I will. I will have that probably for a Thought Bubble exclusive price, so you can get hold of that. I will have some What We Do in the Shadows prints. I don't know whether I have them on the table, but seeing as the new series is just out, it's quite nice. And
you've done it right there. That's like evergreen. That print.
Yeah. Well, hopefully
now's the time to sell those, mate.
Yeah. Hopefully, I love that show.
First episode just showed in the UK this week.
Oh, did it?
Yeah. Third season is all on iPlayer, so go and watch it. It's
all on there now.
It's all on there. I watched it this week. It's brilliant.
Man, the production budget has gone up on that.
Oh god, yeah. So I'll probably have to do another print at some point just because I liked it. Yeah. Anyway, so I'll have that. I will have copies of MI666. My collaboration with Andy Blore, my first dabbling. I
saw Andy say he's going to be there now.
Andy hopefully will turn up on the Sunday. If that's the case, we'll both sign a few books. So hopefully Andy will. Yeah,
I think Falpy's going to be there on the Saturday.
Yeah,
so for the Atomic Herc stuff. Yeah.
So if you like some sort of dark, macabre, sort of action thriller, satanic cults and weird.
He's very, very good. MI666.
Thank you. So yeah, definitely get hold of that.
And come on.
And my new book, Black.
Yay! You've been thinking about that, putting that together in a physical copy for a while, haven't you?
Yeah. This was a project that was born of like the lockdowns and stuff, and just trying something different. Doing it all in one colour, telling a story. It's basically, as I put on the back, awakening alone, a mysterious warrior known only as the Vassal traverses a strange and barren landscape filled with monstrosities. And it's very much a bit of an artistic experiment. It's a little bit of poetics, a little bit ethereal. It is about 100. I was doing it as an Instagram comic, and just it sort of stalled. I think I've forgotten how many strips I got into it before it stalled a bit. Probably about 70, something like that. And this book has more pages than the Instagram currently has. So this is this is about 110 pages.
What, extra on the end, or
it's got whatever you see on the Instagram, that's not the end of it. And I will be
good.
Once this is a very low print run book, probably not going to be printed again. So get it while it's hot, because this will be starting up again on the Instagram.
What's the price on them, dude?
This will be £5.
£100. £5. That's a deal. That's a good deal.
100 coins.
Yeah.
£5. That's all right.
Yeah. So
that's the worst saying. Don't overprice yourself at Thought Bubble, guys. I see it all the time.
Yeah.
Just keep your prices reasonable, like we have.
Yeah. So it's come out really nicely. It's a square sort of a book, because obviously the strip was created for an Instagram sort of format, and it's certainly it's doing artwork in the sort of the way that you have those, sort of a shadow puppet sort of show, sort of your mind.
I know exactly what you mean. Yeah.
Your mind fills in the gap. So
it's sort of like backlit.
Yeah.
I forgot to mention.
Go on.
I've got. I won't be at the table, but Ben and Luke will be selling El Marvo issue 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Never been at a con, so they're in the Comixology hall.
Yeah.
Hawk and Cleaver.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
I've got them.
Yeah. So that's what we'll have. You'll be at their table surely at the weekend. You'll sign some books.
Oh yeah.
There's the star or artist will be here signing. Do a bit of that. Yeah.
Yeah, the legend. So that's what we'll have at our table. We're going to keep it quite simple. Of course, you can get badges and stuff like that. We will also.
Oh, we got the blast from the past section of the show.
We've got a small selection of. Do you remember our anthology, guys? Do you remember that crazy year when we decided to put out 4
We did an anthology.
4 comics in a year, and
fucking did it.
We did it.
Too right.
And we are literally going to have all 4 issues, because I'm sitting around. If you want to introduce get them as a Christmas present. Introduce someone to this madness that you listen to every week.
Only a couple of quid.
We're going to sell them for £2. That's 4 comics with a badge.
£2.
We've got badges still.
Yeah,
nice.
Yeah.
That's worth it for the badge alone.
So that's 50p a comic, and help just clear out the cupboards. Let's be honest.
Our mission is to clear them out. We want them gone.
Yeah. So So please, if you see them, just £2. You can have 4 comics in a bag. They're all nicely packaged up, aren't they? So take them off our hands.
That's a nice little. There's a good lot of reading in that.
Yeah.
40 pages of each story. You know,
letters pages that are a bunch of nonsense.
I wrote them. Do you remember those?
Some wonderful fan art that we got as well. That was a hell of a year. The year that was.
Yeah, we just wanted to prove we could do it that year, didn't we?
Yeah. And we did. Yeah. So there you go. That's what we're going to have at table 112 in the Red Shirt Hall of Thought Bubble 2021, and we hope to see you there. Because we are looking forward to it. There's the excitement of just the convention.
There's the excitement of seeing each other. We haven't seen each other for a year, have we?
No, the last time we saw each other was when we popped up to see Vince.
Had that curry, didn't we?
Yeah. We live the life, don't we? But whoever you are, if you're a listener, a recent listener, or perhaps you've never seen us at a show, please come up and say hello. Because we love talking to people about comics. And your comics, if you've got like new comics, or if you want something for us to check out, please let us know about it, because that's one of the beautiful things about this. Because don't
be intimidated by us shouting at Vince a lot. You see that happening? It's all friendly banter.
Yeah, literally. And like we give it large when we're talking on Sunday night between us, but I'm a little bit more timid in real life. Surely,
you think so?
I think so. Well,
you're quite the engaging one at the table.
Yeah,
that's the thing with you. You do engage with people.
I'll get engaged to anyone.
I get quickly bored by
I mean, humanity really bores Tony Esmond. So, and if he screws his face up, that's just what he does, because he'll be doing that to us all weekend.
I just did it on camera to you.
Yeah. And the camera's not even on. So there you go. So please. We can't wait to see you at the show. Check out thoughtbubblefestival.com. Make your wish lists. Can't wait to see there'll probably be a Slack channel for like Thought Bubble thoughts.
Yeah, there will be. If you're on the Slack, definitely come and say hello.
And comic hauls and what purchases you bought. Maybe in the comic original, the original art chat. What did you get there? Blah blah blah.
We've got a swag channel on the Slack as well.
Yes.
So just if
so
you
that's
going
to be rife. That's going to be rife. But if you can't make it to Thought Bubble, then definitely check out the websites of the people that they're going to be there. Because there's a lot of people that will be like, oh, I can't make it there. But you can still go to the websites and have the shops open and stuff. One of the advantages, one of the pluses, surely, if you can take a plus out of 2020, was because Thought Bubble had the digital hall, it pushed people to sort out their online shops and another avenue for people to have their work available, because having the online presence, having an online store, whether it be in Etsy or whether it be a big cartel or whatever, is important for a lot of people now, isn't it? So, look at those lists, check out the creators, go to their websites, because when they come back from Thought Bubble, they're probably going to be doing a lot of packing. They'll be sending stuff out, I'm sure, if you people go there. So, yeah, you won't miss out, because we'll also give you an update on our next show, which might be a little bit later.
There might be a slight delay on that. As
there
you
might
can
be a slight delay.
imagine.
Normally, sometimes I post them stupidly early on a Monday morning, but because we'll be travelling back from Thought Bubble and organising the interviews and chat that we've got, etc., and basically just recovering from loving each other so much.
Sometimes it hurts.
Yeah, that the next our next episode will be full of goodness, but we'll just do a little
badness.
Badness, the in-betweenness,
sloppiness.
It's all going to be there, so look for it. So just keep an eye. It'll either be late on Monday, we will release it, or it'll be Tuesday, but don't worry, you won't have long to wait. So, and if you do have long to wait, deal with it, because we've got our own lives to lead.
Whatevs.
Whatevs. So there you go. So before obviously we sail off on the good ship, recommends, etc., and shout outs, there's another bit of chat we wanted to talk about, don't we?
Oh, and we got a question.
Oh yes, and
I was going to say, what do you want to do about it? Should we?
What do you want to do?
We do a question first. That's a nice fun thing, isn't it? Insert. Yeah, so it's my question this week, and we're taking in turns to questions. Although I think we forgot last week, didn't we? We got all excited with Rich.
I think Dan had one, and it worked into the conversation, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So the question I posed these two gentlemen before we began was, you get 3 dream podcast guests. They have to be living people. Who do you choose? Who would like to go first?
3.
3. Dan, you go first then. Go on, you go.
Yeah. First guest, Larry Hammer.
Yeah, you like stuff, don't you? Yeah.
Yeah. Robert Kirkman.
Oh, nice.
Frank Miller.
Oh, good. Well, I'll do mine then, because there's a crossover.
Oh, God, you're absolutely fucking just churning these out, and I'm looking at it, and I'm going, fuck.
I did write these down because I was like, I want to...
Yeah. I had a few cross-outs, but Doug Munch, first off, still the person I've never met and I want to meet. Frank Miller, number 2.
Yeah.
Like you, Dan. And John Byrne, number 3.
Yeah.
Who's apparently quite difficult, but I think we're up for the challenge now. I think we could do it. Yeah. Doesn't do many podcasts. Yeah, it probably tells fuck off. That's fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah. They're my 3.
Okay. My 3. I just
and Carolyn Munro, obviously.
First, Frank Cho.
Yes.
I will definitely say that.
Baller.
Yeah. Steve Niles.
Yeah, still waiting.
Yeah, which could be. Yeah, just watch this space. Now I've got 2. Can I have 2?
Of course you can.
Yeah, go for it.
Because I think the last one you'll take as your 4th as well. Okay. First one, Arthur Adams.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. Absolute legend. 4th one, Stan Sakai.
Yeah, that's a good shout. Yeah, I like that.
I think in terms of an independent creator, just true legend.
I was watching some of his videos. He's done a couple of talks about his comics. There's some really interesting videos online of him.
Yeah, got a load of awards, didn't he?
Yeah, always
well deserved.
Yeah.
Are
they available on YouTube? Stan Sakai's talks and stuff.
Yeah, I found them on YouTube. Yeah, there's a couple he's given to I think it's like a university or something. It's like a craft talk. Yeah, really.
He just seems like the nicest.
I'd like a him and a Sergio double barrel.
That'd be great. Yeah,
that'd be great because they love each other, don't they? He letters him and that sort of thing. Yeah.
And another off the top of my head, where am I looking at? I think Terry Moore would be fascinating as well.
Okay.
I've met him a few times.
I think some of the people that are like sort of independent legends in their own way.
I think Terry. I went to Terry Moore talk in Lucca, but it was one of those ones that every line was translated and it was a bit stilted. Sometimes. Stuart Moraine has been in contact with him a lot, hasn't he? I think.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh nice. So who would your favourite? Who would you want as a guest on this show? Hey,
you're not allowed to say yourself.
Not say. Yeah. We can tell sometimes when we get emails from people that haven't listened to this show.
Fishing for.
Yeah. When you post the article, what?
I've got one that said you have a lovely voice. They've clearly not listened.
No. I can't believe those the people who do the razors haven't been back in touch
with me. Yeah, that was a lovely. Yeah, that was nice.
Yeah,
manscaping.
Yeah,
I haven't seen downstairs. I mean, you look like a fucking Wookiee.
Oh, fuck me! You have to better off with a hedge trimmer.
Jesus Christ! You got a natural sporran.
Diamond bladed.
Like an Alsatian with its tongue out.
Yeah,
God. How often? Every 2 months you roll that joke out.
Yeah, when you've come in me out.
There we go. There's another classic.
There's another classic. The old golden oldie. Yeah.
There's another classic.
And we've got some news to talk about. Daniel, you've got news, haven't you?
Yeah, this kind of played out this week. Which, when I first saw it, I thought, "Oh, what a great idea!" And that was the Image Union, putting together a comic book workers union, and they say it was in the spirit of the founders of Image that inspired them to organise. Can't attest to the validity of that or not. But looked into kind of like the CBWU goals, and I was kind of dumbfounded because they seemed completely ill-considered. And
right. Yeah, we've talked about this, but did you want to clarify which ones?
On their goals, they've got a list of goals, and they've amended it during the week because when I originally first read it, they didn't have any kind of like anything really addressing like their wages or the kind of the working environment, etc., which I thought would be like the prime territory if you want to set up a union. Yeah, I've got no problem if people setting up unions and being part of unions. I feel like the kind of power dynamic between an employer and a union, but can find a nice middle ground.
I think also unions are good
parties.
If you do drop into any kind of disciplinary or legal, the money you've paid in has assisted in, maybe hiring a lawyer or something like that. I think definitely they can be helpful. If you've got a good union rep, a reasonable person, to be a middleman, I think it's a good idea.
I had a worker who, like the boss, we get a new boss, and she just took an absolute dislike to him. And for like 2 weeks, she basically recorded the times he was coming in and said, right, I want you to meet him with your timekeeping. We're going to basically sack you on it. So he called the union rep in, and the union rep was sitting there, and she said, I've been recording you when you come in. You came in late this day, late that day. He said he'd been doing that for all the staff. She was like, nope. And he's like, well, that's discrimination. And then that was the end of that.
Yeah.
So having a union rep is like, you want them on your side if you're getting into
they're representing your rights. And obviously, throughout the history of comics, there have been the horror stories. I mean, some of these are like big creators as well that haven't had fair treatment due to whatever publishers and stuff. So, I mean, I will hold my hands up and say I'm blissfully ignorant of all details about this.
Okay.
Apart from the, I'm gonna do a bit of reading up.
Yeah, we're not going to go into the wider aspects of it. There was the last goal they mentioned on their 9-point goal thing, absolutely stood out to us because it seemed well, I'll read it in its entirety. So, point 9, renewed commitment to a company values through the addition of a collective voting option to immediately cancel publications of any title whose creator/creators have been found to have engaged in abuse, sexual assault, racism, and xenophobia, homophobia, transphobia, anti-Semitism, Islamophobia, ableism, etc., until such time as said creators have engaged in meaningful reparations toward the affected person/persons. Which
to me, coming from a legal background, is you don't write fucking etc.
No,
this is just like an open caveat to include whatever you think they've done.
Yeah,
and xenophobia, you know,
it's
such a nebulous fucking sentence.
You can't. These kind of things that they're asking for, these rights would never be afforded to anyone. Like as a worker, it's like say like Jay Sainsbury's. If all the staff could get to have an opinion on what distributors and manufacturers you use because of their political affiliations, etc., it's.
I mean, how far do you go with that? So, do you say, for example, okay, they say, well, can you stock Marvel comics? You say, well, Marvel comics, they filmed this in China.
Yeah.
Right. Well, they're going and promoting the comic in Saudi. You know, how far? Who are these people, by the way? To decide on what are essentially editorial decisions.
These are not creatives.
Publisher decisions, yeah.
These are kind of like the people in the office who presumably it may be kind of like the subscriptions department or the mailing department.
Yeah.
Or
who is this union? Is just for everyone? Is it for creatives?
Workers. These are not for. Well, I'm not sure if they've kind of thrown it open for kind of like. But these
I thought it was for full-time employees. The
people who have set this
many.
up is full-time image workers. Like, so that doesn't include any of the kind of creators working for Image because they've got different deals set up, haven't they? Like Image is working as a publisher for their work. So where Todd McFarlane's got Spawn coming out of Image, it doesn't.
So if they decided on one of the pages Todd McFarlane's is falls into etc. They can all vote to stop Todd McFarlane's comic.
They can all vote.
It just seems ridiculous.
Why would anyone at Image higher up agree to that ever?
Yeah.
Never. They never would.
It's basically voting themselves into a position of power over what goes in comics.
It's like we want you to give us complete and utter editorial control, and we want to be able to stop anything for any reason we see fit. And if you think, well, they would only say that for things about abuse, sexual assault, racism, etc. With any of these things, you've got to work out how could that be used for the wrong reasons before you put in like a law or an act.
It's not specific.
And also, editors should be stamping down on that fucking shit anyway. Do you know what I mean?
Well, I mean, also it's ableism, Islamic. You know what they're going to say. You know, it's like, and it's just clearly not written by anyone with a fucking lawyer. No. It's just you don't put etc. in it.
No,
you don't say, it's a joke.
Say if I was working for a publisher and they decided to put out stuff that was critical of Islamism and they got accused of Islamophobia, I've got no say in what that my employer does in that regard.
The only say you've got is you either leave the company if your morals are high enough.
Exactly. I either sit there and say, right, this is what they're going to do and I'm going to keep drawing my wage, or I take the high ground and I leave. That's the only options I've got.
Unfortunately, unfortunately, from the outside looking in, it's fine. None of us wish to be involved in sexual assault. None of us wish to be involved in racism. None of us wish to be involved in Islamophobia or anti-Semitism. But then again,
we're not defending any of that.
The minutiae of it is that people apply stuff just because they want to cause trouble or affect their own lives. So somebody might say that a discussion on the merits of religion that features Islamophobia.
Exactly.
It's not though. Do you know what I mean? I've seen all these people accusing Christopher Hitchens of being anti-Islamic when he was alive, and it's like ridiculous. He's having a discussion about it.
The kind of meaning. What are meaningful reparations?
What does that phrase mean?
What does that
meaningful
mean?
reparations to who? Who are these people?
Yeah, there are 9 members of. How do they judge this? There's 9 members of these staff. How do they judge whether someone has done any of these
and has made meaningful reparations?
Yeah.
The moral police. A lot of this stuff isn't a crime, incidentally. Allow me to point that out.
Do you have to have 9 people have to have a unanimous vote that no, we're not publishing that. That's not published, or is it a majority vote? And
what does everything go through these 9 people? Every single comic that comes out, it's fucking.
They've got no stake in They've got no stake in the company. They're not putting any money up for running the company. They're drawing a wage. They're employees. It seems absolutely bizarre.
Well, everyone stop work. We've got to read all the comics this month, decide, and then vote.
I think there's also Image Comics is obviously a big company. It's not unknown, because obviously it's come out that they're not recognising this. They're not going to recognise it. That's not a new thing. Big companies don't normally want to endorse union. It's a
you won't engage in business talk over fucking Twitter.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
You're not going to confirm whether they're going to have a union or not over Twitter, over social media.
Yeah.
It just seems like I'm going to be a bit harsh in it here, but it seems like the kind of thing that's cooked up in a fucking student union of
it does sound that way, man. And I think if it was written better and it had actual fucking proper terms in it, rather than just them deciding clearly what they think they should publish or not. And if it was a proper union, then I would be all behind it.
I mean, you could cut off all that stuff that they say that we've been found to engage in. Basically, say we want the collective right to cancel any publication or creator. That's where it goes to.
Yeah, it does.
Like what employer would ever hand their employees that power? Never.
I mean,
the company that did that would be the company that goes out of business very quickly.
There's a lot of sexism in comics still. There's a lot of ladies and men bending over in tight clothing. How much? Who polices that? You know what I mean? These people, who are they?
Oh yeah, but it's just I just feel like it's a power grab, power play. And,
that's what I feel like it is.
If Image did this, I can't see them doing it, but it'd just be absolutely nuts.
Just get another union involved who are used to dealing with people in publishing, who are a good union and protect the people.
Yeah, that would be for me. That would be like if we were going to say, right, we want to get a union involved, go to find the biggest one who kind of like would deal with your area of publication, for instance, and then have a conversation about it, and then see how that they can reach out to the comic. I mean, who doesn't want better pay, more money in the comic industry, and more stabilized and more?
Oh yeah, the comics industry is one that has a massive history of people being let's be honest, fucked over. And just being absolutely exploited, whether it be creators of things, creatives or people behind the scenes of just being treated awfully and stuff. It tells all the time, and things have to change.
But let's face it,
they should change.
Who is the most recent? Well, not the most recent, but who's a big wave of people who fought against that artist being taken advantage of? And it's the Image 7.
Yeah.
That's who really fought against. You got people like Neil Adams and people as well, but these people. That's the point of Image, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's what got me is that when they said like the spirit of the Image founders that inspired us to organize, but the Image founders didn't like the deal they were getting under Marvel and left to form their own company. And the moment you don't like the deal you're getting under Image, so rather than try and form your own company, you're trying to take over Image.
It's also like times of everything's so different now, and they had this portfolio of talent's the wrong word for it, but they knew what they were worth. And that Image exists because these big names and people were at a time when people were starting to buy comics for them, and all of a sudden they were like, "Well, fuck it, I'm going to go off by myself," and they made
5 times the amount of money,
and they made loads of money. They did the right thing for them. I mean, there's fucking documentaries about it. In this day and age, it's so much harder to do that because
the industry's not,
because the corporations have only gotten bigger. The corporations have only gotten bigger as well. I mean, is there such a thing like this for Marvel or DC?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And when you say DC are owned by Warner Brothers, and they probably either don't give a fuck. I mean, I hope that these sort of companies should turn around and go, "We're going to do this because we're going to support our workers." But if I
mean, Image put out books that some of those things that they've talked out about could be labelled at the creators that they've got on already.
Yeah.
So who was that? Ray, the chap who played Cyborg. He was like had some real heavy kind of like grievances against one of the DC guys, and that DC guy publishes a book through Image.
Yeah, Geiger.
Yeah. So like, would you throw a multi-million-pound Image deal with Netflix under the bus because
it's fine though because the warehouseman doesn't want him to.
because warehouse
Josh,
got an agreement to it.
Josh, but do you know what I mean? I think if you're going to do this, get some decent lawyers involved and don't put it all on Twitter. Just get on with it and negotiate a decent thing, rather than trying to get this sort of energized group of people who will support you on Twitter. You know,
But like we said, that goes fucking nowhere.
Yeah, be careful about supporting just stuff as a sort of knee-jerk reaction, because you got these people saying, "Oh, I support this," and I'm thinking, you haven't really read it, have you?
No.
You know?
And certainly the stuff, if you like with some of the articles, it's a copy and paste job of like one article will have a certain amount of information and you read it in the same article going everywhere. It's, you know, rightfully so, these sort of things are making news, but it's the communication and the information that is, you know, I'm reading stuff and I'm not quite sure. You know, sometimes you can read something and I'm looking at it thinking, well, you know, good on them, but I don't know what the contents are. Do you know what I mean? The sort of motive behind it is like, this is great, but what happens if a week later I read it and just go, hold on, I don't agree with this.
Good journalists will show the story from both sides. And you don't get that on Twitter.
And sometimes it doesn't help either with those sort of things when you always get they did not return for comment. Do you know what I mean? Like one article I'm just looking at here, it says Comic Book Workers United and Image Comics did not immediately return requests for comment. So you know, there's just
why would Image respond?
It's going to happen. I don't want it to happen. I would like it not to become a mudslinging match on social media, because then because then for a week it's a loud noise and then it's the next thing.
This perch says it's just 2 or 3 things a week, and then we move on to the next thing.
Yeah. I mean, for instance, there's all of these articles. You know, if I just Google it, you know, how like Gizmodo or Vice, Bleeding Cool, blah 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 blah. They're talking about it now. Next week they'll be talking about something else, and it'll just be an old link. Which something like this. These things are important. They should not just be fish and chip paper. So everything just needs to be handled right across the board, doesn't it? And we don't know all the ins and outs, because it's just 150 characters on social media.
Also, it's just comics. I love comics, and you know I love them, but it's just comics. There's a lot going on in the world. For people who actually fucking really do need a union. You know.
But if my full-time job was that, I
can totally understand.
My view may be skewed, but at the moment it's a hobby that I enjoy. So I am also saying that up front. You know, this is not my 9 to 5 coming in and working it. Because if I worked in, it's one of those things. If you worked in the thing that you loved, God help you, you may not love it anymore when you start doing it as a job.
I think having seen something similar, and I'm not going to go into it, but having seen something similar, I think that I wasn't personally directly involved in. In fact, I kept away from. There's a lot of, every workplace we've ever worked in, everywhere you'll ever have worked, there will be people moaning about the situation they're in. Yeah. The only difference with comics is it has this really strange public voice where people will moan about stuff on Twitter before they ever go to any kind of boss or legal recourse. And I think just keep it in your office. I could. You know, we get people saying, "I'm never going to work with this artist again. He picks his nose in panels," you know, and stuff like that. We'll speak to the artist. You know. And I've seen it happen. It's a load of moaning.
And then, like for instance, social media, you'd be like, "Comics has never been stronger. The sales of comics was this." And if you looked at the sales of comics and who is actually selling comics, you would see that not everyone
somewhere
is
it's selling well, and somewhere it ain't.
Yep.
But who was the top of that chart?
An Englishman.
Yeah.
So you know, but people won't read those charts. So you can say the statement on social media, whether it be pro or con. If you say it on social media, it makes it fact. That's what we've learned from here. 240 characters can mean a lot, which is why we Don't really go on social media that much.
Always write it in the comments on YouTube because nobody reads them anyway.
Yep. Never read the comments unless it's one of our comment threads on social media because there's some lovely people following
on the Slack channel.
Yeah, and on the Slack channel.
Please let's have a discussion about it on the Slack or on the Facebook. If you want to chat about it.
Yeah, I'd more than welcome.
Yeah, and as always, whether you're talking in one of our groups, in your own group, or even if you're deciding to discuss it online. Do it sensibly and do it responsibly. It's not that when you're typing on a keyboard, you don't have to type in all caps. Do you know what I mean? You can just it can be a thoughtful discussion. Discussions lead to results, not arguments. I think.
Yeah.
God, that was deep.
As we've always heard that Twitter has been designed to start arguments.
Yeah,
that's
it works.
Modus operandi, isn't it?
No, it hasn't.
Absolutely works.
Yeah, exactly. Was it Monty Python? I've come here for an argument. No, you haven't. Yes, I have. No, you haven't. Yes, I have. No, you haven't. Yes, I have. Thank you. That'd be £5. It's like that, isn't it? Yeah.
Class. Oh dear. Always end on a Python joke because that really lifts the spirits.
Yep.
Right. Do we have any? I think that's it for.
I've got some shouts.
So do we have?
I've got some quick shouts.
Go for it.
Go on, D-Man.
The Dr. Crow Volume 1 on Kickstarter now. It's just the science meets occult pulp adventure created by Invader Comics. That's sailing its way to hitting its goal. That's going to be fantastic. The Truly Reckless bundle. I think Reckless Heroes are going to be at True Believers, Thought Bubble even, sorry. And this Truly Reckless bundle, they're offering online at the moment. You've got The Last Sheriff 1-6, Operation Boom 1-3, Knights and Pirates. And I didn't copy the price down, but it was a ridiculously low price. So
that's good. And he's got some original artwork there, hasn't he? So
yes. And
get on that like a crow on a bag of chips.
We've got a Future Primitive Mag.
Crow?
I was trying to think of the word pigeon. I forgot it.
We've got Future...
as well.
Yeah.
If you live by the coast.
Yeah, lovely.
Got Future Primitive Mag 1. Join us on a thrilling mythic adventure on the world of the Future Primitive. And that's from Studio Azoff. That's Kevin Gunstone, which is the best name ever. And that's on Indiegogo. And you can go check that one out now. Looking fantastic.
Good stuff.
That's me done.
I got a few. So this week, very nice evening. I met up with Mr. John Tucker for a dinner. I was in Cardiff and he was, so we met up for a bit of dinner. It's nice hearing about, and I heard all about the background stories for the upcoming Bald movie, which sounds brilliant. And John is really interesting about that. We'll have to chat about that, guys. But he's got some really interesting insights in going from a comic to a movie and how much you keep hold of it. It's good to see him. Weird Work 2 is now on Kickstarter. Described on the Kickstarter as a sci-fi noir combining LA Confidential and Futurama. It's. I don't think that does it its credit, to be fair. I think it's better than that, better than the combination of those two. It's written by Jordan Thomas, art by Shaky Kane, both past guests and buddies of ours. Accident Man 2 has been announced.
Hooray.
Hey. Pat Mills comic being turned into a movie by both friends of ours, Scott Adkins. I'm looking forward to that. Yeah,
previous guest on the show.
It's mental that we could say he was a guest on this show.
I know, isn't that crazy? Yeah.
What did he say? He dialed in and he said, "Did he say Mike Fallon here?"
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, it was.
I was like, it just fucking blows away.
He said, "I can't." He says, "I can't talk about my next film." And I said, "Is it Doctor Strange 2?" And he went, "No." That was his answer, which made me laugh. But he was really nice. He stayed for a bit afterwards and had a good chat. Yeah, super nice guy. Yeah, really good. And we're fans of his. Hello to new listener Dave Rogers. Hello, Dave.
Hi, Dave.
Hello, mate. Yeah.
Hello.
Also, Thought Bubble isn't the only convention Anthony will be tabling at. Nor will the Tribute Boys, me and Falpy. The 12th of December, get this, will be at the Satanic Flea Market. I've dyed my blue coastal chinos black for this. It's at a place called Electro
No, you
Works.
haven't.
No, I don't. I don't know how to dye things. It'll be at Electro Works, WERKZ, 7 Torrens Street, London, EC1V1NQ. It's right behind Angel Tube, easy to find. A short walk up from St Pancras.
Seems an apt place for worship of Satan.
Yeah. So we'll be at the Satanic Flea Market with all the tribute books. So pop along and see us. I'll remind you again.
If you ever casually want to be offered drugs, just walk past Angel Tube Station of the night.
Yes.
Nice.
Or if you want to buy talc, yeah. Show as you walk past there. I told you I did that when I walked over Camden Bridge recently, and I walked over and some child went, "All right, mate, do you want to dust your nose?" I went, "What did you fucking say?" He went, "Oh, really sorry." Drug dealers aren't as tough as they used to be.
No.
Good, they're my ones.
But talking of things you can't get enough of, let's talk about some comics. Tony, have you got a couple this week?
I have one's very short though, but I'll do the first one if you want. So my first one is Comrade Kill by our buddy Patrick Sparrow. I'll buy
great name,
Patrick. Yeah.
Yeah.
And this one is particularly. Sorry, mate.
I saw that a bit of this on Instagram.
Yeah, it's great. And this is a particularly good one actually. It's a book that Pat mentioned when he was on the show a few months ago. It's A5 glossy cover, perfect bound, full color insides. It's one single story with some pin-ups, and the pin-ups are from Oleg Green, Shay Hain, Pat Klein, and Max Fuchs, published by Ad House Books. Now, I think he said this was the last Ad House book, wasn't it? Is it right? Something
I'm not too sure.
Chris Pitzer from Ad House. I'm not sure. So the story is somewhere deep underground in the old Soviet Empire, Comrade Kill was put into a cryostasis. He was a sort of super soldier who was, I think he must have been in the 70s. He's fighting Moscow drug dealers and stuff. And he's got a tiny head on a massive muscular body full of veins and stuff. And he's full of anger. And he's even been chemically castrated so he doesn't want sex to intrude on his mission. He awakens a little too late, and as he awakens out of this stasis, he shouts "Death to all capitalist pigs!" and he accesses through his sort of brain computer. He accesses that his mission is to kill Commander Freedom. So he heads off. Decides, "I'm going to head off to America." He leaves his bunker, and he sees an old lady on one of those mobility scooters, which he thinks is a motorbike. So he travels on that to the airport after killing the woman who's riding it. And then he hijacks a plane by pulling the pilot's face off and takes the plane off. The sexy blonde air stewardess who's there attempts to seduce him, but he says he's not interested because he's obviously been chemically castrated. He jumps out of the plane as it crashes into a mountain, but he can't pull the ripcord because he's done a shit on it and it's made it all greasy and slippery. He's had diarrhea. And then he fights his way across the desert and he comes up against all sort of manner of mutants and monsters. And he has the ability to reform himself, so he can be utterly destroyed. But it's a bit like Deadpool where he can reform himself, but he needs protein to be able to do that. You see where this is going.
Yeah.
So he kills this mutant and eats the weird spiked cock of his to obtain the new proteins that he needs. Just fucking brilliant. You know, exactly what you want, isn't it? You know what you're going to get off Pat. It's an antidote to the overly serious or the twee that occasionally we see in the small press and indie market. If you're not into fucking mental comics, then if you just like rainbows and unicorns, probably not for you. But I have to say it's right on my street, and I think you guys are going to do it. I think he's sending some copies, but I just bought it anyway. I bought it in Gosh, got mine off the shelf in Gosh.
Okay.
You can find him at Insta on @Patrick Sparrow. He's got an Etsy store. Now I don't know why the fact he's got an Etsy store makes me laugh, but isn't Etsy where that people make enamel badges and jumpers?
Yeah,
with
so like
dogs
handcrafted stuff and
yeah. I just laugh that in the middle of this sort of Etsy website, you've got him, you know, ripping people's heads off and fucking corpses and stuff. But he's at etsy.com/ca/shop/Patrick Sparrow. Yeah, I'll get anything this dude does. And I was chatting to him on Instagram this morning. He's a top dude, Patrick, big friend of ours, a big supporter and a listener. So thanks for that. Good stuff.
Amazing. Dan, what's yours?
My one is The Blame by John Eyre. It was AYE. Would that be? This was sent in to us via email, and I really enjoyed it, John. It was fantastic. The blurb goes as follow, which I wrote down here. The Blame by John Eyre. I mean, let's jump over that bit. It's currently debuting a Hackney comic and zine fair in London. I think that's been and gone, has it?
Yeah, it has. Yeah.
Titled To Blame, this comic is a collection of funny, philosophical, and experimental stories that John has produced over the past year. The stories are character studies that explore interactions between people, mothers and sons, friends, colleagues, and he's provided the Etsy store from where you can get it from. I read this through yesterday and read it through again today. It's very UK based, sort of like looking at the life in the lockdown and very cutting humor and observations, some of it quite narcissistic and bleak, others just almost slapstick. I really laughed at a lot of this. I really enjoyed the comic, and I want to now hunt down more of John's output because I thought it was fantastic. There's a dig at Matt Hancock through there. He's got like a 3-page comic, and there's one that kind of ties into our image talk where there's a company talking about renaming the new office, and someone pipes up, I think actually the staff should have a say in how this new office is used. And in the next panel, there's the empty chair. She's just been sacked and gone. The boss is like, so no new ideas then.
Yeah, I've not seen this dude before. I have to say, I hadn't seen his comic.
Me neither. Yeah. There's another one where it's all like a commentary on Twitter where the first panel, the girl wakes up and spends her entire day sort of seeing in acts of injustice and things going wrong in her world, and she spends all day tweeting about it. She sees like a guy parking in disabled spots, tweets about it with the hashtags. And says
that's going to help, isn't it?
Yeah. And then complaining about the Tories and £1 billion donation going nowhere. And then the last panel is some weeks later and her looking out of a window, and it says, all these problems are still here. This showing hashtag activism does fuck all. And there's a whole slew of other comics that are really insightful and well observed. I highly recommend getting yourself one.
Amazing.
Yep.
Amazing. Another creator to discover there. My recommendation this week is someone that's just been mentioned on the show, John Tucker.
Oh, nice.
This is for, I'm going to try and say it right, Moida. Volume 2, Murder Volume 2, which we spoke about a couple of times on the show. It was obviously a Kickstarter and stuff. It's a little, I think it's A6 little book containing 2 little stories. Story 1 is called Bruce. Story 2 is Buddy Holly. And it just, I mean, it's a quick read, but it gave me some hearty laughs, especially, either story could be picked out as being brilliant, but I personally like Bruce, which is a stone face that once a year everyone gets 4 questions, and this face will animate and answer these 4 questions, and people have used it to basically better, Bruce will tell the truth. He will give you the truth, and obviously some of our great advances, as it says, in political and medical thought and scientific possibility, they've all come from Bruce over the years. So every year a queue forms, and it's so important to people. It's about this guy who just lines up. He gets a place in line because he desperately wanted a question answered. He was offered countless amounts of money to do it, to basically sell his place in the line, and he doesn't, because he had one question he just deeply needed answered, something that's just been consuming his very soul, and he asked the question, and when he asked the question, I laughed out loud. It's amazing, and the response afterwards, I feel, is quite natural and quite realistic. There's also a story called Buddy Holly, which naturally a story about Buddy Holly is about a bear and some salmon, which is hilarious. It's all told in John's wonderful sort of like sardonic style. Is that the right word for it? Sardonic?
Yeah. It's a good word for it. Yeah.
And wonderful sort of like down to earth, the language of it, the way characters speak to each other is so very when people watch the show and they're like, oh, they sound like real people. It's just well written. It's just easy to read, and always a great laugh. And and if you want to find out more, go to johntucker.co.uk. He also does Twitch streams and the like, and he's always hilarious. He's obviously he's got the podcast This Foul Earth, which is a slice of
and
life.
A movie coming.
Yeah, and a short film, a movie coming, which is going to be awesome. So, yeah, look for more John Tackett in 2022. I think that's. I mean, he's always busy anyway. He's always doing something. Yeah, but Murder. I don't know if it was just Kickstarter or whether.
I think you can still buy it, can't you? I think you can. Yeah.
Yeah, I think you might have some copies, but and Murder's great, but he always changes up the formats for books as well, different styles of books, which is always great. So yeah, check out John's work. Okay, Tony, finish us off, you dirty boy.
This will finish you off. I've got to be honest with you. So this is Johnny Ryan's Porn Basket by Johnny Ryan, published by Fantagraphics. I was chatting to Falpy for a coffee yesterday, and he was telling me that it comes from his banned Instagram page. So it's about 360 images from a banned Instagram page. It's a hardback as well. It's like a little hardback book. A really interesting format. The outside of it's got no dust jacket on it at all, but it looks like an old novel or an old book you would find on an old shelf at your parents' house, or maybe in a old pub or something. You know, it's almost like a weathered blue look to it. And it's mostly single image gags. There's some multiple images, some double page spreads, some in black and white, and there's a few in a sort of almost amateurish color palette, like he's colored it in with felt tips or something. I'll be honest, I bought it without looking at the price because I tend to buy anything by Ryan. You know, I enjoyed his the comic book Holocaust last week, but it was $26.99, and I only realised that later when I went, oh, that's that much. Wonder why my when I got to the till it was so much, and it's mostly because of this book. But saying that, it is really funny. All done in extremely bad taste, which absolutely had me laughing on the train home. But it is, if you're of a sensitive disposition, then do not buy this book. Have you guys read Prison Pit?
No, but I've seen bits of it.
Oh my god. Yeah, it's that, but with more of a sort of satirical bent to it. So some of the gags I wrote down: a pantomime horse which has come apart, and the man, the two men in a pantomime horse. So the man in the back is bent over, and he is fingering the man in the front's naked bumhole, and the title is Horsing Around. Batman is hanging on a rope above a building, and he's doing a poo onto the building and you look down, the building is the Rape Crisis Center. And it's described as DC Comics pin-up page. SpongeBob SquarePants is dressed as Islamic terrorists holding a bomb, and the title of that picture is ISIS. The promo page for a TV series called Unfistable, with a crying man on it saying, "Please fist me," and underneath it says Saturdays on NBC. There's one of Trump cupping Hillary Clinton's balls. There's an advert. I know you're a big fan of the movie Sully. Have you seen that movie? Yeah.
I know the one you mean.
Yeah. There's an advert for Sully 2, where the goose is having sex with Sully from behind.
Oh, God. Yeah.
There's one called Droop Barrymore, which is a version of Drew Barrymore, I'm going to say, but with really droopy boobs. So you see where this is going. And that's not even the worst ones. I will send you a picture of the worst one I found so far in a second. It's done for shock value. There's no doubting it. He does it for shock value. That's why he does it. But I enjoy it. I enjoy I can't see the Image Union allowing this book. You know what I mean? But it is fucking funny.
I mean, it breaks several of them almost every page.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I liked it. It's a little too expensive, but I bought it because I'm a fan. But Porn Basket. There you go. Buy it. I dare you to buy it. I think it's the phrase I'm going to say. Yeah.
What a recommendation. I dare you to buy it. Yeah. But certainly go out and buy lots of comics. Whether it be at a convention or whether it be online or whatever. And we hope we've added a few more to your list, to your wish lists. And
just sent you the worst one I've found.
Oh God! I'm on this. I can't look at that now, Tony.
I bet you Dan's
Jesus
looking.
Christ.
So while Dan is appalled, if there's anything about the show you want us to talk about or further discover, or maybe you've got some upcoming comics you'd like us to check out or put a shout out for, you can get in touch with us in several different ways. You can email us awesomecomicspod@gmail.com. You can follow us on Twitter @TheAwesomePod, where we will no doubt be further announcing the stuff we're going to have available on the table, and retweeting and recommending some stuff or helpful advice and the lead up to the show. We probably won't be. I always plan to be more active on social media during a convention, but then I'm too busy doing the convention.
We never get to it, do we?
No. But if you do the Facebook or whatever the fuck it's called now, go to facebook.com/Awesome Comics Podcast. There's the community group Awesome Comics Talk on there, which you can join. If you're listening to the show, you'll be allowed in.
We've had loads of people apply this week who haven't filled out the questions.
Please fill out the questions.
They're quite easy.
Yeah. So yeah, and you can get involved with a great comic chat. There's also a great comic chat on the Awesome Comics Slack channel if you want to get involved on that.
That's the place to be.
Yeah, it's been really good this week, and we're 2 away from 100 members. Nearly all of them seem pretty active, so it's quite a good place to be. Yeah.
You love it when there's 100 members around you. Don't you, Tony?
Yeah. Depends where I am in comparison to them.
Well, that's true. Well, we'll see.
Um,
I hate Mondays.
Oh, God.
I did ask a question there, but I had to provide the answer. See if Vince knows it. How to frame it. I said, I'm looking for a film starring Tony Todd. He's got a hook in his hand. There's loads of bees everywhere, and it was written by Wes Craven. Do you know the correct answer to that?
No. I thought it was a riddle because my answer was it's not a question. I think I got that wrong, didn't I?
It's a quote from the first film, and it says, "We heard you looking for Candyman, bitch."
Okay.
Oh God. You can thank you for listening to us, whether it was on the website. If you want more of this quality content that we give you every week, listen to us on the website awesomecomics.podbean.com or on the Podbean app or wherever you listen to us. If you listen to us on Apple Podcasts, please subscribe and leave a review. It helps get the word out about the show, the algorithms and all that. You know, algorithm is a dancer. You know what I mean? That's a 90s tune.
That's a good one. Yeah.
If you listen to us on any other networks like Spotify, Amazon, Stitcher, Podnose, Podknife, what are the networks we're on, Tony?
We're on the one sponsored by Johnny Ryan called Pod Dixcutioner.
Right, let me just stop you there. If you... but yeah, there probably is a podcast network called that, so go check it out.
Dixcutioner.
Where can people find us online, etc.? Tony?
Patreon.com/Tribute Press. We're currently in the middle of Foul Peas and Mine 10th comic that we've collaborated on together.
Bloody hell, nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
I've just sent him the 11th today. So yeah, it's going well. We're going to be doing a year on Patreon, we've decided. So thanks to everyone who signed up. You can, if you want to get in under the wire. We've got a few more months left, and we've got one more comic coming your way, which I'm can't wait for you to see as well. So there you go.
Nice, Dan.
Where you can find me, Tony, and Vince at table 112 at Thought Bubble.
Well done.
And you can find me on Patreon at Vanguard Comic, where I've been desperately to try and put Viper 2 stuff without doing any spoilers, which is really hard because there's a massive action sequence at the end of part 3 and 4. And I don't want to spoil the big surprise that happens during it. So I'm finding it hard to pick and choose what content to put up. But yeah. I'll do my best.
It'll be worth it in the end.
Yes.
Worth it in the end. And you can find more of my nonsense on social media, Twitter and Instagram at Jester Diablo. And yes, we hope to see you if you're there. We hope to see you at Thought Bubble. If not, please get in touch with you. And you want some of our books, get in touch with us. And we'll be like I say, next week we'll be sharing the fruits of our labour. So you can, or as we like to call it, you'll witness us slowly melt into exhausted goop.
Yeah.
But we'll also talk to some amazing creators during it. So look forward to next week's show, and then we're on the way to Christmas and New Year. But let's fucking think about that later, shall we? Let's just.
We've got to sort out the date of the quiz, haven't we?
Yeah, you've got to start thinking about the books of the year.
Yeah, I was thinking about that. I think I've got a little bit of a short list of about 8 at the moment.
Yeah.
Mine's the usual. I don't know what the fuck I'm going to put.
I may have shouted about mine earlier in the week. So we'll see. But you'll find out about that later.
Porn basket.
Yeah, well, always. I'm a big fan of a basket. Thank you very much for listening to us, as always, wherever you are in the world. We bloody well love you, and thank you for sticking with this, supporting the show and this nonsense that we give to you every week. Hopefully there's been some advice and tips that will help you out, whatever conventions you happen to be going to. So just make a note of them and let us know how you get on at conventions, and if you've got any advice to give to other people, because we'll share the love, because as long as it's positive about comics, that's all we care about. So go forth, everyone. We hope to see you in a few days if you're going to be at Thought Ball. But if not, stay safe, stay healthy, keep reading comics, because we love you, don't we, Dan?
Hell yeah.
And Tony does as well. No. I'm not giving them the chance to say no. But from Dan, Tony, and myself, and everyone at Awesome Pod HQ, have a brilliant week. Stay safe, and as always, what should they do, guys?
Stay awesome.
Stay awesome.
Can't wait for Dan to shout that at the weekend.
Oh yeah, we're gonna have to get a live one, aren't we?
Yeah. Well, not.
But
you know what I mean.
That sounds a bit weird. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Yeah.